Good morning. I am the Reverend Justine Sullivan. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I have the honor of serving as your lead minister in this developmental time. Each of us can probably remember a person, a teacher, a family member, a friend, who offered something just when we needed it. A ride, a hug, a cup of tea, some act of kindness that offered not only comfort, but also connection. A reminder that whether by happenstance or by design, we find ourselves with company. So let us be good company to one another, and let us be grateful that on life's journey we are blessed with such beautiful traveling companions. And let us be together in this moment of worship.
Good morning, friends. My name is Swamini Adityananda Saraswati, and I use the pronouns she, her. A special welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. Please fill out the welcome card that's in your handy order of service.
Buenos días, me llamo Tony y uso el pronombre él. Una bienvenida muy especial a todos que los están con nosotros por primera vez. Les extendemos la invitación de rellenar el formulario en el orden del servicio.
Our community is a vital, diverse, multi-generational congregation without borders and with a mission to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values to help heal the world.
Somos una congregación compuesta de personas de distintas identidades racializadas y culturas, personas de diversas orientaciones sexuales e identidades de género, personas de varias habilidades mentales y físicas.
We are creators of community and compassion, and though we can fall short, we're committed to practicing an affirming welcome to all.
Con espíritu de reverencia, reconocemos que nos juntamos esta mañana en la tierra de los Kumeyaay, quienes continúan viviendo en todo su territorio. Al emprender este viaje juntos, mantengamos en nuestros corazones y mentes el pueblo Kumeyaay.
In a spirit of reverence, we acknowledge that we gather this morning on the land of the Kumeyaay, who continue to live throughout their territories. May this light of this candle shine for our commitment to the Kumeyaay people and to justice and equity for all Indigenous people everywhere.
We invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in our church hymn and church aspiration. From all who dwell below the skies, let faith and hope with love arise. Let beauty, truth, and good be sung through every land by every tongue. De todos bajo el gran sol surja esperanza, fe, amor, verdad y belleza cantando de cada tierra, cada voz. May love be the spirit of this church. May the quest for truth be its sacrament and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. Que el amor sea la doctrina de esta iglesia, la búsqueda de la verdad su sacramento y el servicio su oración. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad con libertad y ayudarnos mutuamente en comunidad. A eso aspiramos. And now I'd like to invite any of the children or youth who would like to come up and join me and the other religious education leaders on the steps for our time for all ages.
And now I invite forward our intern minister, Swamini, for a ritual of farewell. Swamini came to us as our intern minister last September with a plan to be here for 2 years. but she has had some serious health concerns that need her attention, so she will be leaving us early next week to return home to Chicago, where she will complete her coursework at seminary and receive the care and rest that she needs to get well. We have so appreciated your loving energy, Swamini, and your creative approach to worship and to every task that you undertake. We will miss you, and we wish you well in all your future endeavors. Dear Swamini, we present you with this sand dollar as we send you forth with our love. May this token of our affection remind you of your time in San Diego and your connection to this community of faith. We love you, and we will miss you.
So, friends, there we go. No. Still there? No. Is it? There we go. So, friends, you might wonder why I invited you up. So we're going to do a special blessing for Swamini. We are going to do a bubble blessing. Ooh. So I have some bubbles for you. If you'll come, take your bubbles and come join me up here. We're going to stand right here, and I'm going to invite Swamini to take a couple steps forward. And if you would like to come over here and open up your bubbles. Anybody else? Casey, you want some bubbles? Oh, I thought that might get some extra people. Oh, anybody else want to come up and blow some bubbles with us? There you go. So they're pretty easy to open. You just pull the top off. And we're going to think about all of the wonderful things that we wish for Swamini in her future. And everybody have their bubbles out. And we're going to blow them right this way. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Well, thank you, friends. If you don't mind, make sure your stopper is back in your bubbles really good, and you can take those with you. You get to keep those. And thank you so much.
And shall we do the affirmation?
Yes. So, friends, I'm gonna need your help. I need your hands to help. We're gonna lead the congregation in our affirmation. We'll say it first in English and then in Spanish. We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. Somos unitarios, universalistas, personas de mentes abiertas, corazones amorosos, y manos que dan la bienvenida. And now I invite us all to meet out on the patio, and we'll head to religious education.
Thank you, Tony, and students. Enjoy your time. A few announcements as we continue. Lay ministers are available after the service each Sunday to offer a listening presence. If you have a joy or sorrow on your heart that you would like to share, there's a lay minister available for you, and that person is Chris. She will be on the patio following worship. Dining for Dollars is our beloved community building fundraiser of different events. Please consider hosting an event at your home or on a hike at the beach. All kinds of activities that we might undertake together. After service, you can visit the Dining for Dollars patio table to learn more or to sign up, or you can go to the Dining for Dollars tab on our website. Lots of stuff going on in this busy church today. After worship, many of us will be gathering at our South Bay campus between 12 and 2, from 12 to 2, for a conversation about the future direction of our South Bay campus. This is part of our larger conversation about our sustainable future. It would be great for all of us to be together to talk about our plans to find a more affordable and more appropriate space for both the worshiping community and the food pantry at South Bay. So join us if you can after worship at South Bay at noon. We'll be taking notes and we will share those with the congregation. So if you're not able to attend, you will certainly be brought into the conversation. This coming Tuesday, October 29th at 6:30, we will gather in Bard Hall for our 5th Tuesday learning opportunity. This is sponsored by our Board of Trustees and by our Journey Toward Wholeness group. We will be learning together about microaggressions, those subtle acts of exclusion that are often experienced by people of color and other folks from historically marginalized communities. We'll get a chance to practice responding when we see something like that happening. And just to kind of whet your appetite for this, today on the patio, members of our Looking Glass Theater group will offer a demonstration of what we'll be working on Tuesday night. So check out the role play on the patio and plan to join us on Tuesday in Bard Hall at 6:30. One way that we live our values is by sharing our offering each week with a local organization for justice, a local organization working for justice. And just to be clear, we give that entire offering each week away, except for a little bit for administrative costs. So I think maybe 15% is for administrative costs, but 85% of whatever we gather on Sunday mornings goes to the organization that we're supporting. Throughout the month of October, our offering is being received in support of Indigenous Regeneration, IR. This is a local group working to bring regenerative programming and resources to tribal communities in San Diego. So every week we light the Kumeyaay candle in solidarity with Indigenous people. This month we're actually giving financial help to Indigenous communities that are in need. This is environmental awareness, traditional plant education, survival skills, and healthy expression through music and art, and learning together sustainable building techniques. Important work. You can donate this morning here by credit card using the dip jar on this side or by cash or check over here on that side. If you need help, raise your hand, and you can always donate online at our church website, firstuusandiego.org. Thank you, as always, for your generosity. The morning offering will now be gratefully received.
So the other day, Reverend Justine and I and some staff members like Tony, Pam, were out to lunch. And Reverend Justine said to me, "What's your favorite part of having been here?" And I said, oh, it's coming in and seeing everybody. It's coming in and seeing every face, everybody. And what makes it even more meaningful is last year I came in as a stranger. And as one would proverbially say in the scriptures, you welcomed me. And that's why you will be in my heart forever. I look at your faces, and I know so many of you now. I know your names, your hearts, and I've come to love you so much. This time made me realize how much more important church and religion and being together, community is in this day and age. This is a place that brings meaning. It gives us opportunities to do good. It gives us opportunities to share in our different grief groups, our wisdom circles, in our events. Oh, how I remember our Thanksgiving potluck. Can I share a little digression on it? I had never been to a potluck since I was 7 years old. And Reverend Justine said, "You're in charge." And I looked at her and I said, "Great, who's a caterer?" And I was terrified. And beautiful congregant Maggie stepped up and said, "Oh, I'm going to help you through this one." And so many other friends came together, and we as a community did it. And that fear of, oh, I can't do this without a caterer, and I have no idea what I'm doing anyway with the potluck, it dissipated. And the reason why is because we are community. We hold each other up. It reminds me, the other week I was talking about this tree. And I think about nature. When you have a beautiful naturescape, what you see on the top is just part of what you see. Just like when we walk into this church building, into our beautiful grounds. But what holds the soil, what holds everything together, are the roots. The roots from each and every plant and each and every tree, if you look underneath, are intertwining like this. And that's what holds the earth down. That's what holds everything from flowing away into the rivers. That's what nourishes our planet. That's what nourishes our souls and the souls of all beings, this togetherness. The word church actually comes from the ancient linguistic verb, I want to say iglesia, but I'm not saying it quite right, so excuse me on that. It doesn't mean a building. And that surprised me when I learned that. It doesn't mean a building. It wasn't a building when churches first emerged. It was people coming together, just like today. Whatever our faith might be, or lack of faith might be, the most important thing is our hands and our hearts. And that's what church is all about. That's what togetherness is all about. That's the importance of this place. And that's what I'll take with me forever. I'll remember all of your faces. As I look at you right now, I see you. And like I said, I love you, and I will miss you. And every step I take, everywhere I go, because of the roots that we have sown together, they'll remain, and that never flows away. I thank Reverend Justine deeply for being such a valuable mentor, and I want to thank my internship committee. If you could stand up, Bella and Marge and Jim and Liz and Tony. You mean so much to me, so much to me. Thank you. when Reverend Justine said, you'll have an internship committee and they'll go everywhere and hear your talks, I was scared. And so, oh my goodness, it's really, really kind of scary. What I found is love and support and more roots that will sustain me going forward. I bow to you all with great love and respect. Until we meet again, may you always, always be blessed. Oh, amen.
Thank you, Women's Choir. And Tomas and Gabriel for that beautiful music. You know, our intern minister, Swamini, comes to us with a lot of experience prior to entering seminary. She worked for many years as an interfaith leader and executive, and she personally has raised millions of dollars. And I, being the highly ethical, perhaps some might say too much so for my own good, when we decided that she would come and be an intern here, I said, well, I'm not going to let you do any fundraising in your first year because, you know, that would be exploitive. We're going to let you be a beginner and have you do the things that you haven't done before. But in the second year, I'm going to have you run our stewardship campaign, and we're going to, you know, send it through the roof. So unfortunately, because Swamini has had to leave, we weren't able to get the benefit of her wisdom. But if you all want to make me look really good in front of my intern, you could help me blow this stewardship drive this year, you know, through the roof. That would be awesome. Only in a good way, not in a bad way. We don't want any holes in the roof, but you understand the metaphor. I'm not proud. Make me look good in front of Swamini. Last night, Dale and I had the pleasure of hearing the most beautiful concert in La Jolla. It was the Takács Quartet, a string quartet from Hungary, founded 50 years ago. One of the founding members still plays with them. We're pretty sure he was the cellist, right? Okay. Other members of the quartet have been replaced over the years, members leaving, new members joining, but always with the same mission: to make beautiful music. And they do. Each player so skilled at their own instrument, but when the four play together, it is heaven. They play perfectly in tune. Now, I don't have perfect pitch, but you can tell even without perfect pitch, because the music, when it's really in tune, just vibrates in your body as you listen to it. The vibrations line up, and you not only hear them, you can feel them. Individual voices, beautiful on their own, playing together as one to make something new. Something that could not exist without each of them lending their unique gifts to the mix. I should tell you, I don't always write my sermons on Saturday night, and I had something entirely different planned for this morning, but Dale and I were sitting there listening to that concert, and at intermission, Dale turned to me and said, "Isn't this amazing?" And I said, "Yes, I have a new sermon." Dale only slightly raised an eyebrow. This is not the first time she's heard me say this on a Saturday. But this quartet, without speaking a word, they communicated with each other throughout the performance with the tilt of a head, the raising of an eyebrow, leaning forward, leaning back. The cello with the viola with the second violin, the first violin to the cello, and around again. Just beautiful to witness with eye and ear. And as I was listening, I thought about you, about the work that we do together here each Sunday and throughout the week. I thought about our own Tony Bianca and the way that he finds and delivers the perfect children's story each week, capturing the essence of the message for the service in a way that captures the attention of young and old alike. I thought about Reverend Kristen and her beautiful sermons and meditations, her passion for justice, and the work she is doing with Valeria and Karina and all the volunteers at the food pantry, many of them also clients of that program, a truly multicultural, multilingual community within our larger community of faith. And I think of Tomas and the beautiful music he makes with his voice and with his fingers on the piano keys and with his hands and his heart, coaxing beautiful singing from our choirs. And the beautiful music from Gabriel and Andrea and Lexi in South Bay and all of our singers and players in our choirs and ensembles. And Zane and Ricky and Leora in the tech booth. Leora, our newest administrative person, with her gifts of layout and design and her calm presence in the office. And our beloved Robbie, who oversees all the business and administrative functions of our church. And Kate and Laura and Alex, who work with our young ones, and Lara, who has breathed new life into our youth and young adult programming. And Pam, who oversees scheduling of events and often brings one or more of her children to help in the tech booth. So many gifts in our staff, so many individual gifts that they bring together in service of this community, like that string quartet. And of course, all of you who share in the ministry that we offer to our aching world. All of us adding to the beautiful sound that is First You, San Diego. And to make sure that the song keeps going on while we are here and after we are gone, we are called to offer our financial support. Now, like a lot of people, like many of you, I imagine, I grew up with some strange attitudes about money. My mother grew up poor, my father grew up working class, and I think the predominant feelings about money that I could discern growing up were shame and guilt. Shame about not having enough, guilt about having too much. In later years, my parents did pretty well financially, and they would sometimes quietly help out a family member in need, but it wasn't talked about. And to this day, I know nothing about my parents' charitable giving, if any. We learn about money in our families of origin. Maybe it's something to worry about, something to wish for a little more of. Quite likely it was something not talked about, and so it loomed a little larger. And the Bible doesn't help, or our reading of it, right? Jesus overturned the tables of the money changers in the temple, and Judas paid with silver coins for his betrayal of Jesus. Money is bad, evil, associated with evil, dirty. Now, the so-called prosperity gospel tells us that wealth is a sign of God's love for us. So the rich must be God's chosen people, and if you are poor, well, then you must not deserve God's love. And so we, the chosen ones, will look down on the poor and keep them at arm's length. As Unitarian Universalists, we of course reject all that, right? We attribute wealth and the lack of wealth to systemic forces. The luck of inheritance, the rules of a financial system that are stacked against people of color, against indigenous people, against women, and a system that values certain kinds of labor over other kinds of labor. I remember I was in social work school, and I had a summer job in between my first 2 years. I worked at the state psychiatric hospital where I had done my first year internship, and I was paid $8 an hour. And I remember my first week there, one of the things I had to do was assess whether or not a patient was sufficiently safe to get his razor back to be able to shave. I was entrusted with this life or death decision for $8 an hour. Even though it was a while ago, it wasn't that long ago. $8 an hour was about maybe a little less than the minimum wage at that, or about the minimum wage at that time. So we don't buy into the notion that wealth is a sign of God's love. In fact, we sometimes go the other way, right? We see the corrupting elements of wealth and the abuse of power and the unfairness of the market. And so we have our own kind of aversion to talking about money. We avoid it. So this discomfort with talking about money makes the annual pledge drive pretty challenging. Church is supposed to have clean hands. So if money is dirty and evil, then we shouldn't talk about it in church. Some congregations ask their minister to stay out of talking about money. They let some unlucky layperson give the annual sermon on the amount. And then they close their eyes and grimace and hope that somehow they will meet their goal. But friends, money is not evil. It's just currency. It's a convenient way to exchange goods and services. Folks used to pay each other in produce or salt, gold, whatever was most precious. And to their places of worship, folks would bring the best of what they had and would offer it gladly. The offering was not an interruption of worship, not a commercial break from our regularly scheduled programming. No, the offering was a part. The offering is a part of our worship service. We give in gratitude for the abundance we receive. We share what we have with others, with each other, with our future selves, with those who would seek community in these lonely, isolated times. In this modern world when people have never been more connected electronically and yet never so disconnected from one another, from shared understandings of our world, disconnected from beloved community. Joining and participating in the life of a worshiping community is a countercultural act in these times of social isolation, in times where individual liberty is privileged over almost everything else. Can you believe people are talking about the right to own a weapon when we've had all these mass shootings in schools? How is that even part of the conversation? We are here because we know that whatever happens in the world, whatever challenges we might face, it will be better if we go through it together. And if we work together, we can make positive change. We believe in that. We believe in each other. So friends, to keep this mission alive and aloft, we need your help. We need your time, we need your talent, and we need your treasure. I actually love talking about abundance and generosity and giving in gratitude and in joy. Lama Surya Das writes, giving brings happiness at every stage of its expression. We experience joy in forming the intention to be generous. We experience joy in the actual act of giving something. And we experience joy in remembering the fact that we have given. If everyone in this community of faith gives a gift that makes your heart glad, we will have enough. We will have all the money we need to support the mission and vision of this congregation. As my dear friend Dick Boudelier, now of blessed memory, used to say, the good news is we have all the money we need to support the programs of our church and our amazing staff. The bad news is it's still in your pocket. Please make your pledge today. We have pledge cards. You can fill one out at out on the patio. There's a table there, or you can go online to our website and click on Giving. If you already pledge monthly, I ask that you either fill out a new card for the new year or send us an email letting us know that you intend to continue your monthly pledge. And if you're able to increase your giving from last year, that would be amazing. Some of us will have to lower our pledge from last year. That's okay too. And if you're not in a position to make a financial pledge, that's fine. Just let us know and you will receive a waiver. But to be a member in good standing, able to vote, You need to make a pledge each year. You need to participate in the pledge drive each year. And if we all do that, we will have enough. I mentioned that I actually love talking about abundance and generosity and giving with joy, but if I'm honest, I don't actually love the prospect of chasing after people who haven't yet made their pledge. And I can tell because you avoid looking at me when we're on the patio. You see me walking toward you. We need to get this done in the month of November so that we can do our budgeting for the next fiscal year. The sooner we can get this wrapped up, the sooner we, your staff, and I can move on to other things, the many exciting things that await us, renewing our covenant, resolving that issue of stay or go decision, making that decision, moving forward toward our sustainable future at both campuses, working for justice, doing the work of preserving our democracy, getting out the vote. How many cards did we do? Like over 5,000 postcards and many calls. Acting on our values to help heal our beautiful and aching world. We have so much to do and all that we need to do it. I have made my pledge in gratitude for this faith, for this congregation, and for each of you. Will you join me? Blessed be. And now I would like to invite up Swamini and the members of her internship committee. Cora Pendergast is also a member of that team, but she is not with us this morning, but I think the rest of the committee is here. Come on up. And Swamini, if you would stand here and then allow your committee members to circle around you. Dear Swamini, may you go forth from this place secure in the knowledge that you are held in love. And may God bless you and keep you. Amen.
Now, please join us singing the hymn 1059, May Your Life Be as a Song.
Resounding with the dawn to sing away the light, and will we serenade the stars, ever dancing circles in the sky. May your life be as a song, resounding with the dawn to sing away the light, and softly serenade the stars, every dancing circle. Ever dancing circles in the night, ever dancing circles in the night.
Let us all go forth from this place knowing that we are held in love until we are together again. Blessed be and amen.